Alright, Wolfenstein 2 is coming out. Everyone knows that. But not everyone knows, or really no one knows, what's going to happen in the game itself. But there may or may not be hints to it back in the New Order. If you've played, the New Order, you remember this mission, Chapter 14, Return to the London Nautica. And in this level, there may or may not have been a couple hints here and there. Alright, so in this area, after you bash through the window and crush the guy's skull and clear this area out, you'll find this paper. It's an article titled, Biggest Gun Ever Constructed. London, November 15th, 1960. The Super Weapons Division of our military has created the largest weapon in the world. In the vast darkness of space, far above Earth, looms a gigantic orbital mirror which can harness the power of the sun itself. The Sonnengewehr. In the center of the mirror, a 2.5 kilometer long space station juts out, aimed directly at Earth. When activated, the Sonnengewehr focuses the sun's energy into a death ray capable of incinerating entire cities and boiling the oceans. With this weapon, we can truly strike down on the anarchists and terrorists lurking in the darkest corners of the Earth, without sending in our brave troops to their potential deaths, commented the head of the Sonnengewehr project, Hans Grubst. The risk of collateral damage is minimal, if not non-existent. So to make a long story very short, the Nazis have a giant death ray that they can use anytime they want. I mean, as ridiculous as it sounds, that's pretty much the main theme of the Wolfenstein games. It's just ridiculousness, But it could be a possibility. The name of Wolfenstein 2 is the new Colossus, which kind of hints at something pretty big happening. I mean, honestly, I could be wrong here, but there's also something else I found later on in this level, which could be what it's referring to. Alright, so in the next building, you're going to come across a little room right here with a conference table, and at the end of said conference table is going to be a little slideshow. Now, the images don't exactly work for it, but the announcer is still describing the slides, and it's pretty interesting what he has to say, especially given what the Nazis have already accomplished with their advanced technology. Because the Nazis, they already put a man on the moon in 1951. And they have a Nazi base on the moon in 1960. They have laser weapons, they have drones, they have all this technology, some of it that hasn't even been developed in the real world yet, to the capacity that the Nazis have in 1960, in the game at least. Now the announcer describes Venus and their efforts, or potential efforts, to build a base where people can live on Venus in the future. So it's not inconceivable that they could build a military base on Venus by, say, 1961, which is when the new Colossus is going to take place. And especially with the uber concrete they use to build everything on Earth at incredible rates. Like, they already have a base on the moon, so it's not inconceivable that they could build one on Venus in such a short time. And that base could be the new Colossus that the title of Wolfenstein 2 is referring to. It could be where they're creating all their new technology, off-site, off of Earth, so it can't be interrupted by anyone. That could be what you're fighting. So in total, there are 7 slides, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm just gonna let them play out.
Dia 1, die Venus. Unser mysteriöser Nachbarplanet, bestens zur Kolonisierung geeignet. Nächstes Dia. Dia 2. Die erste Phase des Projekts Venus ist die Errichtung eines Wohnballons, der über den Wolken des Planeten schwebt. Nächstes Dia. Dia 3. In der zweiten Phase werden halbautomatische Drohnen zur Planetenoberfläche entsandt, um dort Bodenschätze zu schürfen. Nächstes Dia. Dia 4. Ein weiteres Drohnengeschwader wird auf dem Planeten nach Anzeichen für Leben suchen und dabei sogar bakterielle Aktivitäten wahrnehmen. Nächstes Dia. Dia 5. Der Wohnballon wird mit den gewonnenen Bodenschätzen in eine schwebende Stadt verwandelt, in der Angehörige von Militär und Wissenschaft mit ihren Familien leben. Nächstes Dia. Dia 6. In der dritten Phase werden aus den gewonnenen Bodenschätzen atmosphärische Transformationsmodule konstruiert und in die Oberfläche der Venus gebohrt. Nächstes Dia. mehrerer Jahrzehnte in eine warme, bewohnbare Umgebung.
Alright, so as you can see, there are the 7 slides. However, I'm not sure if this is going to be the next plot. Hell, it might not be the plot for, the next game. It might be the plot for, say, the 5th game in the series, if they even get that far. But it could also never come up. So take everything I say with a couple grains of salt. Because I have no confirmation of anything other than what's been released so far, and none of that seems to hint towards any of this, but then again, we have no clue other than what they've given us, and what they've given us isn't a lot. So, as of the moment, this is all just speculation, so we'll find out later when the game comes out, but until then, I'm going to stick to my theory and see if this becomes actuality. Maybe not this game, like I said, but maybe sometime in the future.